So this memorial garden, which begins with the red hibiscus and moves here through the orchids, and then I have some vines going up and more orchids in the trees, and over here anthuriums, bright red anthuriums, and more orchids which are beautifully blooming at the moment, and some beautiful crystals, and then Madagascar pinks, and behind the pinks is blue ginger, so those two colors are extraordinary. And then it ends with this beautiful crescendo of pink bougainvillea. So this garden is for Marie Claire, an amazing woman who I met, oh gosh, in the early 90s. She was a very gifted pianist, and her dream was to play at one of my councils. So we had scheduled the day, and it was quite a large group. I think 30 people were there. And she texted me early saying, "I'm so excited. I'll get there early and I'll play piano while everybody's coming in." And she arrived at the Pyramid House, and she fainted on the sidewalk. So I didn't actually see her that morning. And her partner took her to the hospital, and she was flown to Honolulu, and she had already had 3 MRIs, all of which came out completely clear. She was having intense headaches and small seizures, and so the doctors told her everything is fine. And when they flew her that day to Honolulu, they did a 4th MRI, which showed 7 brain tumors, and she was given 5 days to live. And she texted me that day, and she said, "I'm a New Yorker. I'm going to outdo this prognosis." And I think she outdid it by a couple of days. She lived 7 or 8 days instead of the 5. And during those last days of her life, I wrote a beautiful poem for her, which her friend read to her. She was still coming in and out of consciousness, and she absolutely let the poem in and loved it. And her last time that she came here for council, she brought these beautiful prayer flags, which are hanging in the temple. So she's very much here. And this particular garden is reds and pinks and oranges because Marie Claire loved wearing lipstick. So the redness of this garden is really to commemorate and remember a remarkable woman who loved wearing lipstick. I believe up until the day she died, she had her lipstick on. So this is Marie Claire. A poem for Marie Claire. You are preparing now for the great departure from this realm of reality called life and returning to source. 7 tumors in your brain arrived suddenly as uninvited guests. You received them admirably, as Rumi encouraged you to do in his poem, The Guest House. Be grateful for whoever comes, he graciously said, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. All that you gleaned from 5.5 decades here is being decanted now into each inhalation, the stunning fruition of your earth walk. Beneath all appearances is an unwavering peace into which you have sublimely surrendered. Beloved friend, the veils are thinning, and you are in the hands of the greatest alchemist now. All that you once identified as and thought that you were is being melted into gold. Your senses are dissolving. There is nothing to hold or say, nothing to do or not to do, no one to be or not to be, nothing to affirm or deny. Thoughts, feelings, and sensations are permeating through and into everything, vanishing while seamlessly intertwined with wind and waves, mountain, clouds, and birdsong. All identification is dispersing into spaciousness. You already know that you have always and never existed, having danced with the mystery long before clockocracy created time. Welcome the emptiness in which endless forms coexist. Perceived opposites appear, disappear, and reappear, ungraspable and ever-changing. Your sight is now vanishing, and the temporary chrysalis by the name of Marie Claire is quickly metamorphosing. Soon, all syllables will cease. Your borrowed garment of flesh will no longer function or serve, and your final exhale here will transmute from breath into air, and you will be both gone and everywhere at once. Deathlessness and love are guiding you now through the gateless gate.